arrived at the University of Missouri in 1967 after finishing a postdoc at Cornell and some degrees at Wisconsin and the University of Minnesota. One of the things that I was intrigued with was the program on forages, and my background was in forages, and this offered me an opportunity to continue work in that area. When I arrived, I had a primary teaching appointment, about 2/3 teaching, 1/3 research, and I was very interested in hands-on learning and teaching the students how to think about the answers rather than just to memorize the answers. During the career, I've had an opportunity to write some books and to do some things, but nevertheless, it's the important component that puts it on the field so that the farmer can use it and society can benefit. Well, we began on research on photosynthesis, and then understanding that the photosynthetic process was not necessarily the limiting factor, so we began a very strong program on the growth of a grass leaf. We emphasized the growth rate of the leaves. The leaves in a forage grass are the most important part for intercepting radiation, as well as they're the part that the animal eats. So now we can understand a lot better how we can manage that particular component of the grass plant. And later on, we decided that we would also work on alfalfa persistence and trying to extend the length of the stand on the soils that we have in Missouri. I could see the value of integrating a lot of the basic research that we had been studying into a systems approach where we could solve problems at an international level. In South Korea, the challenge was their rice production was exceeding their need, and they had to use alternatives for cropping systems. So we looked at soybean and several other crops that could fit in with the rice system. The Wind Institute is an NGO that was begun by Mrs. Lee in South Korea. And I was able to link with them a few years ago and being invited to develop a special museum in South Korea called Seeds for Life. After Korea, we began to be much more active in Vietnam. Vietnam was an emerging country. It also had interest in cropping systems and particularly food security. So at that place, we spent a lot of time looking at the breeding and the production and cropping systems based around rice. But we've also spent quite a bit of time in China, in Taiwan, in South Africa, in Kenya, Tanzania, and several countries in East Europe. The international presence of MU is very high. We've had a long history, we've got a good reputation for service, and again, it's built a lot around graduate education and in-country service. To me, the experience has been really rewarding and beyond what I ever expected. Growing up on a small farm in Iowa and wondering what your future would be, I never dreamed that I would be able to travel, to interact with the people around the world, and to have the impact that I've been able to have. And as I tell most people, I'm retired, but not tired.